The three common beliefs that have ruined dating. Social media and internet dating apps have completely changed the dating marketplace. Back when I was in my 20s in the 90s, in order for you to meet someone, you had to go out, you had to meet them at a bar or a party, or you meet them at work, or you would know someone who was a friend of a friend. You meet them when you're doing exercises, or you would meet them when you were going to a club or doing a pastime or a hobby that you liked. Or you met them at a party that either a friend of a friend was throwing, or people actually threw parties in order to meet people. Well, a lot of that stuff has stopped these days. Roughly 6% of relationships start with online dating these days. Now, this has produced some extremely different levels of satisfaction with dating. A lot of people have a really major challenge with dating these days because of these three beliefs. Well, the first one is infinite optionality. For 97% of human history, humans existed in hunter-gatherer tribes of roughly 150 to 200 people. Tribal unit, or a village of 200 people, when it was time for you to select a life partner or a relationship partner, you had tops 10 to 12 potential mates that you could select from. So typically the most attractive man picked the most attractive woman, or the most attractive woman would get the man of her choice. And then it went down through the different levels of attraction. These days, all you need to do is open up a dating app and you have, instead of 10 to 12 potential partners, you have literally 500,000 different partners you can potentially choose from. So we have infinite levels of options these days. Now, the problem with that is that our selection criteria and our decision making isn't well evolved for that level of optionality. And when you've got that many options, or perceived options, when you've got that many perceived options, then what tends to happen is people become incredibly picky. And what that means is everybody's looking. That means everybody becomes incredibly picky. So someone who could work out really, really well is often discarded. The amount of time it takes people to decide on a dating app whether or not they're going to swipe left or swipe right is around a half a second. So people are making snap decisions based on a single photo that does not represent who that person is. And they'll often be discarding people who they could have a good relationship. So that's belief number one, infinite optionality. Belief number two, or the idea number two, is the search for perfection. A lot of people in dating are looking for Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect. Instead of going for someone who is 95% right or 90% right, they're looking for 100% right. And if there's any deviation from that idea of that perfect person, they'll kick them to the curb. If there's any small transgressions from their 100% absolute desired behavior, they'll run away. And that's a problem. Nobody is perfect. You most certainly aren't. If you're seeking for Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect, when they find you, they're probably going to find something wrong with you. So it's useful to give up the search for perfection. Instead of searching for the perfect person, search for someone who's 95% right. And then you can work on the other 5%. So that's number two, the search for perfection. And the number three is we live in the era of disposable people. If you've been dating for long enough, you've probably been ghosted at least 3 or 4 times or more. And ghosting's a horrible thing. So you might develop a connection with someone, you might have seen them a couple of times, and all of a sudden they disappear. You're unable to contact them because they've blocked and deleted you from every kind of digital way of connecting with you, and all of a sudden they disappear. And that idea of everybody is disposable now comes from also whether or not you have a lot of options. If you think you've got heaps more options coming down the tube because you've got a limitless number of choices, well, if someone doesn't work out appropriately, well, you just dispose of them and get another one. The problem with that is you never actually fully commit to having a good relationship, and you also never actually deal with relationships as they actually are. Relationships are difficult. They'll involve conflict. They'll involve compromise. But if you see your partner as being infinitely disposable, you never compromise, and there should be no difficulty, you'll never, ever, ever have a good relationship. If you see your partner's infinitely disposable, they have to be perfect, and you can always get somebody else. go about your life, you'll never have a good relationship if you carry those 3 beliefs and live your life as if those 3 beliefs are true. The solution to this is to date intentionally. The solution to this is go, okay, instead of looking for Mr. 100% or Miss 100%, I'm looking for 90% or 95%. I'm looking for compatibility in a few basic things that means I can have a good relationship. And if you do that, then you can potentially have a good relationship. So if this is conformed with your experience, please let me know. If you're having a challenging relationship, there's a booking link in the description. Please put a comment in the video. I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to making more positive content for you shortly. Thanks very much. Bye.